you were 23 years old making nearly $400,000, but you ultimately took the leap because you said that you kind of had hit like a ceiling. But for someone who's in that position now, right? Maybe they got a little comfortable, but they ultimately know that they want to eventually go all in and invest in themselves. What's your advice to someone who's in that position, and how were you really able to make it happen?
Yeah. So the blessing in disguise was that was a ton of money for me to be able to store up and be the first 2 years of my salary when building Immersed. So I was able to build up that nest egg, and I think that's good. And fortunately, at the same time, I was paying $170 a month on rent because I was in a house with 10 dudes, $1,700 a month for the house. Wow. And so like saved a ton of money. I was just like, just saving. I didn't know what I was saving it for. But when I then had to, and wanted to take the leap to start my company, I'm like, all right, well, I have like a decade's worth of whatever. Like I'm a kid who eats like nothing. And like I rent is like nothing. This could last me like 10 years if I needed to. So it was enough to allow me to responsibly take the leap. Even if I had, wife and kids and whatever else at the time, like we would have been fine for a few years. And so what I will say is the season of time that you're in right now is not useless. Like there's a reason why you're there. So be grateful for it. But then it's also important to be clever about the ways in which you can leverage that for the next season. Right. So if someone's working at McDonald's, it's like they can complain, oh man, I'm making $8 an hour. It's like, at least you have the $8. Or someone who works at like a computer lab, like, oh man, I'm so bored here. I'm just still sitting here waiting for people to come up to me and ask me questions because they need help with tech support or something. But like no one ever comes up. I'm just bored of my job staring at the wall. Well, why don't you use that time staring at the wall to invest and do something else while you're doing that and you're getting paid $16 an hour to just sit at the front desk at your college campus or whatever it is for $10 an hour. And so all these little things, there are ways to align incentives and align all these things to point towards your goal. And I just think it's important for people to try a lot of different things to see what you're most passionate about, because most things that are worth pursuing are not easy to pursue. And if you're not passionate about that thing, nothing else is going to carry you through that if you're not passionate about it. I mean, same thing with Immerse. Like for me, the core thing that I really, really enjoy is building something that makes lives easier using technology. And had I not had that passion, this thing was way too rough to build this to date. And I would probably not be here had I not been passionate about this to begin with.